Welcome into the Birds vs. Boys mock draft 2.0 fantasy edition. We are back. We did an 8-round mock draft last week. Eddie and I are back. Kevin, my co-host, is here on the regular show. He's here for the mock draft as well. He is actually drafting in his real draft tomorrow. So this is perfect practice for him.
Need help.
We are doing a 12-team draft this time. Similar concept, half-point PPR. And we're doing 8 rounds again because we know kickers, defenses, you should be able to figure that out on your own. But we'll get into it. So I believe let's go over our draft positions real quick before we hit start. Kevin, you're drafting 4th because that's the position that you are actually going to be in. So this
Correct.
is a mock draft. This is real.
And beforehand, I think before we even start this, I'm looking Justin Jefferson maybe.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp if he's sitting there.
Correct.
Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 3 of the names I feel like maybe sitting in my wheelhouse, sitting at 4.
I like those, especially last time Eddie and I were talking about with Kupp and Jefferson. You might want to pull the trigger on receiver in the first round.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eddie, you are going to be drafting 6th this time.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get whatever Kevin doesn't pick. Really, out of the guys he just named, whatever's remaining is what I'm hoping for. I know Vince last time got Derrick Henry. I wouldn't hate to land Derrick Henry at 6, but I think there are some other options there as well.
Yeah, this is odd for you because last time you were first, so you had that turn.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
you drafted 1st overall, but then had to wait a long time. But then you really just had like that bounce right away, 2 and 3. So this is a little bit different, being right smack dab in the middle. So
yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to compare the 2 spots.
Yeah, and then I'm drafting 9th. I think that's weird in the first round, but in the other rounds, 2 through 8, I'm okay with it. First round, I'm probably missing out on elite talent, so we'll see. All right, so we've got 20 seconds until this starts. The bots last time did really well, which is great because it made it realistic. So I'm very hopeful that they continue to do that this time for us and make this as realistic as possible. We don't want to see Evan McPherson in the first round. I thought they did a pretty good job, though. So we'll see how they do.
Team 10 last time was crazy.
Yeah, Team 10 kicked our ass.
All right, Jonathan Taylor. Eckler goes 2. Okay,
wow.
So Eckler's off the board. McCaffrey goes 3. I am on the board at 4. I have 50 seconds here. So the 2 names that I did mention earlier was Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. I am a little worried about Kupp this year. I think some of his targets are going to be stolen by Allen Robinson. I don't think he's going to have the triple crown. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be used unbelievably well and just force-fed the ball in Minnesota. So I am going to go Justin Jefferson at 4 for me.
I do love that. I think he has wide receiver 1 potential this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could really be him.
So when Kevin was picking at 4, I was really happy with my position at 6, thinking I was going to get either Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp.
Hate it.
And that's not what happened. Derrick Henry is there, but I'm gonna slide down here and take Jamar Chase. Actually,
Ooh, wow.
Okay.
All right, Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook go off the board right before I select. So that played out not as well as I would have hoped. I was really eyeing up Jamar, and then Dalvin Cook I have in one of my leagues. I think he'll do pretty well. So I will go with the guy who would have been auto drafted. I think volume wise, I don't think his volume is going to decrease at all, especially with the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh. So I'll go Najee Harris. And then it turns back around to me. Some more running backs off the board. Our first tight end off the board. That makes it kind of tough. I think I'm just going to go with my guy and keep it consistent. I believe I took him last time. We've got that kind of, combo approach to it. And everybody knows this is my guy. So I'm going to go with Deebo Samuel.
Deebo. Wow.
So similar to last draft, even though I'm in a completely different spot, I am actually, because of how scarce the tight end talent is, I'm going to reach on Mark Andrews in the second again.
That was our main takeaway last time too. Was the tight ends. There's only so many, so do you reach?
Right.
All right, Kevin, back to you.
All right, so I went wide receiver 1 at 4th overall here. I love CeeDee Lamb. He's a number 1 wide receiver for the Cowboys as well. However, I think that the wide receiver core is a lot deeper than the running back core. I think the value here later in the second round for Alvin Kamara is pretty high. So I am going to take Alvin Kamara off the board at running back for my second pick.
Great value with that
Great
selection. Round 2, pick 9. Josh Allen, our first quarterback off the board to round out round 2. And Kevin, you are back on the clock after T. Higgins and Tyreek Hill go off the board.
So, again, here, I have my running back. I have my wide receiver. I do think that the wide receivers are deeper. We did say that the tight ends are a little scarce this year. I don't want to be a Zeke owner this year at all. It scares me very much. So I know it's a long time till I get back, but I'm going to go Kyle Pitts here. I think the value for him at tight end, I don't want to be stuck with a shit tight end when I come back, and I think I have a better chance at running back and receiver later.
Fair. AJ Brown, Philly's own, goes off the board. Eddie, you are back up right smack dab in the middle.
So just where we are with running backs right now, I also don't want to be a Zeke owner like Kevin. And where I don't have a running back, it's a little scary. I was going to go AJ Brown. I'm going to go Mike Evans.
Eddie is putting together the team that I wanted to put together. I was like, ooh, Jamar, ooh, Mark Andrews. I'm willing to bite on a tight end, all of that. So I think I'm going to hold off on the tight end for now. On the flip, I hope this doesn't come back to bite me, but I think on the flip, I'll be all right. There's a lot of great receivers coming up too. This is tough. Wow, this is really tough.
Who do you have currently? You have 30 seconds left. So let's see.
I have Debo and Najee Harris. I think I'll be fine, but this is a guy that I really like, and I think he's going to get a lot of targets this year. And since we're half PPR, I'm just gonna maybe it's a slight reach, but not in a 12-team league. I'm gonna go with Jalen Waddle. Back around to me. Now I know what I have to do here because I see that Darren Waller went off the board. We had 3 tight ends before that. I almost have to go tight end. We talked about this last time. There's 5 good tight ends, maybe 7. So here's what I'm going to do. Simple. You probably have to reach on tight end early. I'm going George Kittle. Justin Herbert and Mahomes off the board for quarterbacks. Eddie, you are back on the clock.
I'm very concerned about the running back situation of what I'm going to be left with.
True.
But I think I can wait on quarterback still. I think I need to fill my running back problem. I'm gonna take Travis Etienne.
Nice. Brees Hall after that, and then Kevin, your 4th round pick.
So my 4th round pick, I'm also worried on the wide receivers here. I'm worried also at running back, but somebody that I think that is going to have a big year this year. I feel like the value of taking him right here is good. So I am going to draft Cortland Sutton. I think his rapport with Russ is going to be phenomenal this year.
I really like that. Yep, correct. Ooh, 2 names that I liked right before you picked Lamar Jackson at QB and Gabe Davis. So you are back on the clock again.
So I could go quarterback here. I think I might wait a little bit. So somebody, I think he's going to have a. Yeah, I'm pulling the trigger. I think he's going to have a big year, even though he's going to share some carries. Going AJ Dillon.
I like him. I think his usage rate is really high, even as a quote-unquote backup. They're going to utilize him in Aaron Jones. So absolutely. I actually handcuffed them in my 1 league. So that's actually I like that a lot. So what do we have here? I'm just going to go through really quick. the running backs do get scarce in a hurry. It's not a pretty sight. It's not great. I see a few that I like.
Oh, it's my pick. What are you doing?
Oh yeah,
trying to
true.
steal my pick.
My bad.
Do you see that, Kevin?
I watched every second of it.
You know
My
what?
goodness.
I was 7 last time, and I was like, oh, back to
That's
me.
crazy. I've never seen that in my life.
I almost stole all your time, too.
Yeah, you did. Kevin actually made my pick for me because I was going to take A.J. Dillon. In between that, I was considering a quarterback. So now I'm going to take a quarterback. Kyler is right there. I do love me some Kyler. I'm not worried about COD.
So Kyler goes off the board. Joe Burrow goes off the board. I'm in the same situation I was with the tight end. You don't draft for position, you draft for value. But at this point, I feel like I'm doing both in getting this guy. So I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts.
Knew that was coming.
Listen, I feel like at that point, I'm not being a homer. With all those quarterbacks off the board, he was just the best choice for it. And then I'm going to turn around a guy that I really like because if he doesn't catch the ball, I don't really know quite who else might, aside from Mark Andrews, and that's Rashad Bateman in Baltimore. So I'm going to take him with my 6th pick.
Okay.
Back to you, Eddie.
So I don't know what to do here, guys. I think I'm just I don't know what to do. I just don't. I'm gonna go. Oh, I wish Chris Godwin wasn't hurt. I'm going to Antonio Gibson. I'm doing it. It's fine. I'm doing it. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it.
But you'll do it.
All righty. Let's go to the cheat sheet. Sorry, I'm not talking. Actually,
yeah. What are you thinking about here, Kevin?
Thinking about a lot of things. Thinking about the running backs.
I was about to say the running backs are scarce.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a quarterback yet.
Nope.
You know, there's always that run going on with the receivers. So there's a lot of different ways to go here as we round out round 6.
There are some good quarterbacks still left too.
True.
There are. And I'm coming back around.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to chase Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay.
I saw his over-under for the year was 4.5 on touchdowns. That seems incredibly low.
Incredibly low. All right, so need that. So I feel like I do need a quarterback here. Thomas Brady sitting there.
Russ just got taken.
I did like Russ there. Wow, this is tough. I love Dak, but who's he throwing to this year? Trey Lance. It's really his rookie year. Brady, is he falling off the wagon? Aaron Rodgers, who is he throwing to? Matthew Stafford, is that elbow still really messed up?
I don't know.
I don't trust that.
That's a toss-up.
Yeah. I won't worry a ton about it.
Give me Matty Stafford, man. I mean, he's got so many weapons.
And Dak goes off the board right before. So, or right after, I should say.
Right after.
Right before.
I'm taking Juju with Patrick Mahomes. I'm not really going to think twice about it. I'm just going to do it.
That was kind of the line of thinking that I had with Rashad Bateman. Is like, okay, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's see here. There's a few running backs that I actually like, which you didn't think you'd be saying at this point in the draft. I love Chase. Shout out Chase Edmonds from my hometown, Harrisburg. I would love to have him.
Yep.
But I think what's going to happen in Seattle, Rashad Penny came on so strong at the end of the year. I think he's going to be the RB1, even though they drafted Kenneth Walker. So I am going to take him and have my RB2.
Look at you.
DeAndre Hopkins goes off the board. Now, that's an interesting one. All right. So this is round 8. So this is going to be my last pick. I am definitely I'm looking at the value with a lot of these guys. And I think there's value at the wide receiver position and I could go running back again. I could, maybe.
You want to do a rundown of your roster before you make your last pick?
So I have Najee Harris and Rashad Penny as my 2 running backs, and then I have Rashad Bateman, Jalen Waddle, and Deebo Samuel as my wide receivers. I'm a big believer in stocking up as much as you can on wide receivers, but I think at this point, I don't think there's going to be a lot of depth left after this at the running back position, and I still think there will be at wide receiver. If we were continuing, I'd have some more options, so I'm going to go with Chase Evans.
Not a terrible pick.
Oh, it gave me the little value thumbs up. I'll take it. Makes me feel
There
good.
you go. So I'm a little torn of what to do here because I want to take either Tony Pollard or Cordero Patterson. And I think I'm just going to hope he repeats what he did last year and take Patterson.
Yeah. Trust the results. First defense off the board. That's a little
a little early. All right, so I got Matty Stafford, Alvin Kamara, A.J. Dillon, Justin Jefferson, Cortland Sutton, Kyle Pitts, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I could either go running back, I could go wide receiver here. There is one player that's sticking out to me a little bit here that I think I could get great value here. I think he's going to be the number 1 for this team. He still has a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing to him, and there's not really many other wide receivers. I'm going Allen Lazard. I think they're expecting big things out of him in Green Bay this year. And who else is he throwing the ball to?
I think we all hit that point where we said to ourselves, okay, the top big name receivers are off the board, but there are still some big name quarterbacks who have to throw it to somebody. I think we all took somebody. Allen Lazard with Aaron Rodgers. I took Rashad Bateman with Lamar Jackson, and then Eddie, you took Juju Smith-Schuster with Pat Mahomes. Great quarterbacks, and they have to throw it to somebody. So real quick, we'll just recap our thoughts. Kevin, if you want to go first, you picked 4th overall. You'll be doing so in your real draft. How do you feel?
Love my wide receivers. Cortland Sutton, Jefferson, Lazard. Love that. Love having Kyle Pitts. Little worried about my running backs, Alvin Kamara, A.J. Dillon, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Also, don't love that I have 4 guys on bye week 14, which I was not looking at the buys, which I will be tomorrow. So don't love that. Don't love that. So, but all in all, I'd be happy. I'd just have to forfeit week 14.
That's the last round for the playoffs. So that could be a bad thing or a good thing. We'll see.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Eddie, this is your second time going through. You picked 1st overall, which was interesting the last time. You were right smack dab in the middle this time. Thoughts first time versus second time?
I think my team, I would have to look at exact players, but off memory, I think my team the first time was a better team. I think at 6, at least for me anyway, 6 was a reach for Jamar. I think at 9 is probably more like where you would have taken him. I think it's probably a better spot. I think I should have probably just went with the book and taken Derrick Henry.
Yes and no, but I don't think there's anything wrong with taking Jamar there. So, and then lastly, I went 9th overall. If you have the ability, I would choose earlier or later. Being in the middle this year was rough. Didn't love drafting in the 9 position because you don't get the benefit of the turn and you're not getting a super value there in the first round. I agree with Eddie. I thought my team was better the last time that we did this. My kind of similar takeaways, you probably have to pull the trigger on tight end early because there's only 5 to 7 good ones. And but all in all, I think, again, what we've been seeing, middle rounds, there's still a lot of talent. There's a lot of options. And I usually don't have 3 running backs on my team after round 8, but I thought I got 3 good ones. So it's all about value.
I mean, late, I was like, wow, Devontae Smith's still sitting there?
Yeah. It's crazy this year. You go through and just take a look at round 6 with the wide receivers. Now, DeAndre Hopkins is suspended, but then you go Elijah Moore, Adam Thielen, Juju Smith-Schuster, and then don't love Drake London, but Amari Cooper. It's like those are some great names all the way in round 6.
100%. That was fun, boys.
That was fun.
Team
all
11
right.
Team 11 is kind of crazy.
Drafting in the back might be the move. DeAndre Swift, Travis Kelce, Keenan Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins, and Kareem Hunt. Come week 7, he could have a really good team. If
Yep.
Kareem Hunt gets traded and DeAndre Hopkins is unsuspended, he'll be all right. Team 7 or Team 11 over there. So yeah, I think that's a key is drafting in the back and reaching on tight ends. If those were the 2 lessons we've learned.
Team 8 too. I mean, if Saquon can have a bounce back year, the 2-headed monster of Dalvin Cook and Saquon could be scary.
Yeah, definitely. These are some good. I like that
and
really hold their own.
Even Team 7, if Zeke has a decent year, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Zeke.
Yep.
Also, I know we keep going back to health, which you can always do, but Team 3 with McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette, and they go running back. That's a gamble. Then to turn around and go T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, Gabe Davis. Wow.
That is still end up with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that is a squad. A little
and went 2 rookies with Kenneth Walker and Treylon Burks with high upside there.
Yep. Just taking the risks in the later mid rounds because they're already set with their 3 receivers and 2 tight ends. So
and if you end up with Hawkinson, you're happy with Hawkinson. Like
Absolutely.
That's probably where it drops off, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Dalton Schultz.
If you were to wait, like the drop-off point is definitely after 5. There's a clear tier 1 and tier 2. If you were in tier 3, you were screwed. But like the tier 2 is Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz, and Dallas Goedert.
And I will tell you, if you are a full PPR, Dalton Schultz is going to catch 100 balls this year.
Yeah, which is like that's perfect, you know?
Right.
So like he's a step below the heavy hitters of like a Mark Andrews and a Travis Kelce.
And all 3 of those guys went in the 6th for us this time. And I think they went pretty similar last round too. So keep an eye out for that.
Yep. It's like rounds 2 through the beginning of 4 are that tier 1, those 5 guys. And then about round 5, you have that tier 2 where it's Schultz, Goddard, Hawkinson. So you just have to
hopefully
decide
you got somebody
which tier you're in, where you're sitting after the first 2 rounds or so.
Now, tomorrow night, my last question here. If I am sitting there, Cooper Kupp and Jefferson are staring me in the face, what do I do?
I think you made the right choice with Justin Jefferson at 4. He has wide receiver 1 potential. The coaching staff that was there when Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown in receiving is now the coaching staff for the Vikings. So I think I know what their plan is going to be with Justin Jefferson.
I think I have a hot take about Justin Jefferson, if I can get that off real quick.
Yes, please.
I think if you're picking 2 or later, you pick Justin Jefferson if he's available.
I see that. I really do.
I'm not joking. I think that's what you have to do.
When Austin Eckler comes out himself and says, hey, I probably shouldn't have the same volume as I did last year. Yeah, I'm totally okay with going receiver instead of Austin Eckler too.
And then your second and third round, you go running back. You're going to have running backs there.
And look who went round 2 in this draft. Like you'd be fine with Aaron Jones in the 2nd round and then get AJ Dillon in the 6th. Like Kevin, you did. So
I'm in.
There you go.
Well, thank you. We will see. I will be texting you guys through the draft while I'm also feeding my child a bottle and drafting at the same time.
A man of many talents.
Got to do what you got to do.
All right. That is a wrap on Mock Draft 2.0. We'll probably do one again before we wrap up draft season, maybe one before Labor Day weekend, just so you have one. I know that's probably like the last weekend that people really draft. So hopefully you got some tips and tricks, and we'll be back with our final installment around next week.